Hey, it's MK, and I am back with another color craze combination for us. This is the color that we have chosen. I love this color. So before I turned the camera on, I kind of sort of got all my photos together and I couldn't pick which one I want. So I'm going to put a pocket page in between a double page spread. I will do the pocket page at the very end of this video if you guys are interested. So don't be scared of the time frame of this video. The process for the layout is actually only 16 minutes long. The rest of it is just the pocket page and how I do the filler cards. All right, so for this layout, I have chosen lots of goodies that I have to be honest, I forget most of them. So I got this really cool embellishment pack by Stampin' Up. It's the Expressions in Ink embellishment little pack goodie. I can't wait to use them. This piece of cardstock is actually for the pocket page. And then I have this leftover piece by 49 and Market. It's from the Take a Hike collection, and I'm going to use it as is. I also have two pieces of wood grain. Now these pieces both come from Close to My Heart, and they are just a wood grain collection that they have available right now in their main catalog. And I will have a link to this posted down below so that way if you guys are curious or interested, you can get your hands on them. I also have two sheets of double-sided cardstock from Close to My Heart that I will be using to mat my photos with. I picked out a couple of Stampin' Blends. These are my alcohol markers that I absolutely love to do or to use. And then I also have my shimmer brushes by Close to My Heart, and then a bunch of Nuvo products, as well as this two-way glue pen by Stampin' Up, but it is no longer available. But I'm going to see if it's going to work for what I want it to be. So in my little embellishment tray, I have this punch right here that is by Stampin' Up. I love this type of punch for my photos that I'm going to be doing country style. This entire sheet of stickers I set off to the side and completely forget where I put it and couldn't find it. So I do without. I also went to my Glowforge and decided to cut out some embellishments. Now these are peach embellishments, even though we are picking nectarines. No, we are picking apricots. I apologize. But I did decide to do peaches because of the fact that, aren't they so cute? Yes, I think they are. And I was going to try to color them to match the apricots because they don't get as round as a peach does, but in all essence, they are kind of sort of the same-ish. Kind of. Just going through all of the wood pieces that I created and made, and then I have a bunch of labels. So squeezed it in really tight. Now this one here is what makes this video so long, is I tried to show you guys what I did to all of these wood pieces. Now what I'm doing here is I'm putting down these, they're like silver flakes. I'm not really sure what their exact name is called. It's not mica, it's gilding flakes, I think is what they're called. And so I basically put my two-way glue down and rub my finger and kind of like buff off the flakes in hopes that they'll stick to the glue. And then I used a baby wipe to pick up like all the little bits and pieces that stayed on my wood. Now I'm using my markers to color in these wood pieces. Now they don't blend like alcohol markers usually do on a piece of cardstock, but I was able to layer up colors when I put my light piece down and then my dark piece. I was able to do that. Then what I wanted to do was I wanted to take this Nuvo drop, which I absolutely love this vintage color. I don't even know what it's called, but I love it. And I wanted to spread it across. Well, it wasn't coming out of the bottle like it normally should. Normally what I do is I take the bottle and I can outline and color in the entire thing. But because this bottle was not acting the way it was, I took these silicone, almost like paint brushes, but they're silicone brushes, and I was spreading it around until I could get it to do what I wanted, get the bottle to do what I wanted to do, but I could never get it to do that. Here in a few minutes, as soon as I'm done messing with this peach, I'll show you. So this is a tiny little sample bottle that I get in my Tonic Studios like craft kit. And so this is what I love about the craft kit is I get all these teeny tiny little sample bottles along with a mix of these larger bottles. So all of these came with my craft kit. And normally the little Dilios just come out super easy. Well, I finally got this bottle to work. I don't know how it ended up just finally working. So I went over my brush art, which it wasn't spreading very nicely, by the way. I went over it again with the way that I was going to originally do it, and I love it a lot better. Then I'm taking this like pointed silicone brush and cleaning out my score lines. So that way it's just a nicer, cleaner paint job rather than going through and figuring out, or not going through and figuring it out. I'm sorry. It's going to go and mess up my score lines. Anyways, moving on. I also took that silicone brush to try and help me get some of that gilding flake or whatever they're called out of the score lines of this crate because they were stuck in there really, really well. So I was just trying to use the wet end of that to try to pick up those flakes. And it worked somewhat, but not a whole lot, which is okay. It's microscopic. You have to like get your nose right up to it to see it. Filling in my peaches using that silicone stylus. Basically, it's just a really pointed silicone brush, you guys, honestly. I will have the link to those. They come in a 4-pack, so you get, or 5-pack, and you get all different kinds of tips on your silicone brush to help you move your product around, basically is what it is. So I will go ahead and put a link for that down below as well. And then I'm going to color in these peaches. Now, the reason why I am shading this with a marker first is because I was under the impression, I don't know the difference between all of my Nuvo drops. I'm not an expert, nor do I really care. Oh, that was rude. But honestly, I don't. So I don't know which ones are going to dry clear and which ones aren't. And so I wanted the shading to be underneath for when it did dry clear. And then I am able to, have that two-tone that I was looking for that. Anyways, I decided to do a blue truck, even though it does not match the color scheme at all that we are going for. But I wanted to do a blue truck because that is the color of my dad's truck. The trailer is shown in the pictures, but his truck isn't, but I still wanted a blue truck. And it's so cute. Seriously. And this, I don't know what this Nuvo drop is, this blue one, but it's almost like a metallic-y swirl. It's so super cool. And it could have just been the way that I was applying it. Who knows? I don't, like I said, not an expert at Nuvo drops at all. But there were all of the elements that I did for this piece of layout, or for the layout, not a piece of layout. Oh my gosh, I give up already. But that was basically the longest part of this entire process, seriously. So I took my distressing tool. Seriously, I think I'll put a link down below for that as well, only because of the fact that this particular tool is not available from Close to My Heart, but there are those out there. So I think I'll go ahead and put a link because a lot of people have asked me about it, and I absolutely love this tool. It makes it go by so super fast and easy. However, I was edging torn edges, which means that they were a little bit softer than just a regular paper edge. And so basically I had to, it flaked off that torn edge for me and just gave me a cleaner, more smaller torn edge. I don't know how to say it, you guys, but it did help me do all that stuff. So I didn't want to tear off any more of this paper. I love this lime green paper, you guys. I am so in love with it, and any chance that a manufacturer comes out with something like this, doesn't even have to be lined, but this lime green paper, I buy it all up. Seriously, I think I have maybe 6 sheets of this paper because I just love it, and I will be sad when it disappears. Also forgot to put up my hair this morning. This is a pre-shower layout that I'm doing for you guys, so you're welcome. Sorry about that. But anyways, I did not want to tear off any more of this paper. So basically, when I tried to mimic doing the border strip and the, I don't know, doilied edge, I guess is what it's called. On the other side, I only did the portion that needed it. I didn't do the whole thing, which I think is kind of a cool effect. I've never done something like that. And I thought, it looks good. Kind of. But I'll keep it there and see if I like it. So trying to figure out my placement of my photos, and because I scuffed up that edge, it kind of gives me an allowance to puff up something, make this a little bit more 3D instead of a little flat. Not that the wood embellishments aren't going to make it 3D, but it definitely is going to be one of those where it's going to be a dimensional layout for sure. Not just because of the wood pieces, but also because of the ripping texture that I have added as well. So I just like having texture on my layouts, you guys. It's just so fun, even though you can't touch and feel them in a page protector. But I enjoy making them, if that makes any sense. I really do enjoy having that texture and having it in my hands before it goes in the page protector. I don't know what it is about it, honestly. So anyways, stealing Janet's idea for putting a acrylic block on top of my foam pieces that I just popped up on foam. And basically the block is putting down some weight for me, so that way I can go on to other things while that is being held down and drying, which is one thing that I have been noticing. So I did steal this idea from Janet, totally stole this idea from Janet, because my things tend to kind of curl up. And so without that acrylic block putting even pressure all the way around, it didn't curl up. So I was like, well, she is smart. I know. I should just listen to her all the time in the beginning. Putting down my title, and I have to tell you guys, I hate stickers that don't come off the page. Do you see where it's ripped and all that stuff? It just comes off in a mess, honestly. So I am taking this little baby boy thicker set and I'm making my own words out of it. So I loved this teeny tiny little font. I don't even know if it's available all by itself or whatever. I have no idea. But I am basically creating my own title using the pieces that are on this thicker sheet to get it to say what I want it to say. So I had to take an H, I think is what it was, and turn it into an R for grand. I turned a U upside down for the N, basically just manipulating the words to work for me. And that is one thing that I absolutely love. And then I had to go to my Cricut for an @ sign. I did not want to use the A or the T that were available on the sticker sheet because of the fact that they were really tall and they blended too well with the word time. So I just decided that I was going to do a glitter @ sign. Yep, that's it. Went ahead and put it all down on my layout in this nice little nook that I have created. And then I'm going to take and put my @ on top of a peach. And it did take forever for me to put foam around where I needed it. So I didn't cut it out of foam because I did not want to have to fight it overlapping the peach. It would have just been too thick. So basically I glued it to the peach, then put teeny tiny itty bitty little pieces, and some of them I had to double up because of how thick my peach pieces were. But yeah, it definitely was a labor of love that I cut out for you guys not to have to watch that madness. So I did take off some of the frames, those golden frames that are kind of like a stretched hexagon. I did have to disassemble them. So they are kind of all on a carrier sheet, and then in between each of the lines and in between each other are little perforations, and I had to tear them apart, and what a mess. So long story short, I cut all of that out. So every time that I do add one of those stretched out hexagons, I do cut that part out because it's just boring watching me take all that stuff apart just to get to the end result of what I need. Yes. I also took this together banner piece and trimmed off the extra green that was around it. I like it being a banner rather than a square or a rectangle. So I really wanted it to be a banner and not so in your face green. I definitely wanted the peach color of this combination to be the accent color rather than the full blown, this is the color and the green is the accent. even though the combination that we chose, the main color was peach. It was just a bunch of different shades of peach. And then you had one green. And so I kind of flipped it. I kind of flopped it to where my main color is the green and the beige or grayish or whatever color that is. And then my peach was the accent colors. So I've got the highs and the lows, or the lights and the darks of the peach instead of the opposite. Yes. And I definitely did not, maybe I did, take inspiration from the picture more than I did anything else, because it's, the picture is the peaches and the wood grain. And yeah, that's exactly what I went for. It wasn't intentional. Seriously. All right. Coming up to the end of this very long, overdramatic layout, I am taking the color Peach from Heidi Swapp Color Shine and doing a couple little splatters going across, just to have that peach in a little bit more areas other than the embellishments. And I really do like it. I even like how that splatter dries on top of that Nuvo. It is so cool how that does that. Again, I totally spaced where I put my wax sheet full of all those other stickers and things, or those definitely would have made it on this layout and made it a little bit more full instead of just here's a few embellishments. I do like how it turned out, but I did have plans to use all the things on the carrier sheet or the wax paper, and I totally spaced where I put it. So in fact, I didn't find it until a couple days after making this layout, by the way, if you guys are curious. So anyways, here's where I say thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out Janet and how she uses this color combination. I can't wait to go check it out. If you guys are interested in seeing the process for the page protector, here it is. If not, I want to say thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. But this is what I plan on doing for the pocket. Now, what I did already was I already pre-cut my photos down and glued them on the backer card, so they are already in their pocket. The only thing that's out of the pocket are the two pieces that I will be playing with, my filler cards and whatnot, for the spaces. I did not, because of the type of photos, I didn't go into any of the dead space and clean those out at all, because of the fact that I wanted to see the photos. So I don't end up embellishing here and there and everywhere on top of photos. I just do two filler cards and that's it. So basically what I did was I took out an embossing folder that looked like the stripes in the Take a Hike paper. And I planned on doing this. And when I roughed it up, I wanted the green to be like a bold green, but I didn't want it to be this bold. So as I'm ripping and tearing and trying to distress my paper to make it look like the Take a Hike stripe, I was debating whether or not this was too bright. I had no clue, but I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to just, oh, it's too bright and give up. I just am not. But when I sanded my paper, some of the upper layer or the top portion of this cardstock started flaking off. Well, it goes along with the Take a Hike paper, where it kind of has blotchy, not all the way through perfect lines. And so I thought, oh, that's perfect. And then I took out this Studio Light Grunge stamp set. Now I have no idea what number or design or anything like that. I don't know what it is. And I tried to find it and I could not. I found similar to, but not exact papers, stamps. So I apologize if this one is not available anymore. But it is Studio Light Grunge edition, because they have multiple grunge stamps to choose from. So you got to go check those out. I will leave a link down below as well. Now I need to make a mental note of all these links I'm leaving down below. Anywho, I pulled out all of my pieces that were left over from the main layout. That is what I love to do when I have a pocket page in between, is to make it look like it belonged by using similar elements that I used in the main pages. And I felt like it was missing something. So I went into my stash and pulled out this wood grain that I thought matched really, really well compared to the wood grain that I used, because I used up both sheets of it. So I didn't have anything else to use except the scrap. Well, the scrap was a torn off piece. So I had to fill the gap. And so basically what I'm doing, I just have a teeny tiny little gap to fill. So I cut off a portion of my card and stuck it behind, which I loved. I did a little happy dance, was like, oh, go me, because it was unexpected. I wasn't sure if it was going to even look good or anything. So I really did like it. I also had to fill up my entire card. When it went through the embossing folder, it embossed it very deeply. This is actually the exact same time that my die cut machine died. Like, it died on me. It no longer works. I put it on the kitchen table. Hopefully my husband can get it to work. But I've been milking it. It's been throwing little fits and turning off at random times, and it has been acting like it's no more for quite a while. And I have just been milking it and ignoring it and hoping that it would, come around and love its house that it lives at and doesn't want to, go join the trash. But no, it finally died. The power button pushed in so far that I couldn't turn it off or on or anything. And so when I plug it in, it just turns on, and then the rollers start going, and it just goes, and it's going to go until the motor burns up. So anywho, long story short, I cried. So I am finishing off my cards, my filler cards, and I cut one picture to a 4x4, so I have a little spot there that needs to be filled in. And then of course I have these two 3x4 pockets to fill in. And I was building the bases for the pockets, and I have to do it like double-sided. And because I had to use washi tape to hold everything together, because I was, before I went on the die cut machine tangent, when I put my embossing folder in my die cut machine, it cut it so deeply that it actually tore the paper. And when I sanded it, I made it worse. So I basically glued everything together using washi tape, and it definitely does not look good on the other side. So I had to come up with the wood grain to go on the other side, which I absolutely love how it looks. All right, so I'm going to put the little basket or bin or box or crate of peaches on one side, and then I'm going to take this hanging peach on the other side, and again go back to that sticker sheet and make my own word that says yum. Yep, that's where I'm going to leave it. And I love that title card. Absolutely love how it looks. And when I put it in between the 2-page layouts, this is on the other side of opposite of the title. So when you flip the page, the title will be covered by this, and then all you'll see is the word yum. So I really like that. I think it's like my 4th title using the word yum on a layout, but that's okay. It's not life-changing or anything. I'm pretty sure that, if we use the same title over and over again, we'll be okay. We really will. Now, one of the things I should have done is I should have waited to put the crate on until I figured out what I was going to do to the other side, because lining up the U in between, because I cut the U in half, I thought that would be the best way for it to look, is having the U cut in half, but it was hard to line up because of the fact that the other card was so dimensional, where the M is. But it's okay. It still looks good. And when I go into the pockets, I have to shrink one of the cards anyways because of the dimension going on, and so they don't line up anyways. So even if I had done what I was supposed to do, it definitely ended up not working the way I was supposed to work. And then I got my cards completely confused as to which card went into what pocket. And so I put my peach up too high. So when I put it in the pocket, it kind of sort of damaged the pocket up there at the upper left. But I'm okay with that. I really am. I don't plan on it coming out of the pocket anytime soon. So if nobody notices, that'll be okay too. All right, here are the close-ups of all the cute little cards that I have made, the filler cards for my insert in between the 2-page layout. I want to thank everyone who stuck around for this extremely long video. Thank you so very much for joining me today. And again, be sure to check out Janet, who is playing along with me on this Color Craze combination all month long. And I will check y'all later. Thanks. Bye.